welcome to WBCS Adda. Before starting our today's discussion, I would like to inform all our viewers that WBCS Adda has prepared a mock test series for the upcoming Miscellaneous Service Examination. And I'll suggest all our viewers to kindly go through those mock tests because through those mock tests you can evaluate your preparation before the exams. So if you are willing to go through those mock tests, then all the details have been given in the description of this video, and if you have any query, then please contact the given number. You will get all the details. Now let's come to the topic. Today we are going to study the administrative and the legislative reforms before 1857. Okay, and the first was the Regulating Act 1773. Before going into this point or this topic, the Regulating Act 1773, we should know the background of this act. Means, what was the situation when this Regulating Act was passed? See, the Britishers came to India through by getting a royal charter from Queen Elizabeth I in and around 1600 AD. Okay, and they get the charter act. They got the permission to trade in East Indies. What was East Indies at that time? East Indies consists of East and South Asia and India. Okay, then finally in 1608 AD, in 1608 AD, the Britishers arrived at Surat in India, and they started trading with the Indian rulers and companies. Okay, then we all know about the Battle of Plassey. Okay, then after the Battle of Plassey, the House of Commons investigated the company's conduct, that what they have done in the Battle of Plassey, and the matter was resolved after the company agreed to pay rupees 4 lakh pound annually to the British government. But in 1772, क्या हुआ? The English Indian Company was unable to pay the annual amount and asked for a loan from the British government. Okay, then after all this situation, all these problems, the British government, to rectify or to solve all these problems, passed the Regulating Act 1773. Fine. Now we'll come to this topic, that is 1773. I have just given an overview that what was the situation when this act was passed. We should have an idea that क्या हुआ था उस time, Regulating Act क्यों pass हुआ था, why this act has been passed. Okay, so now we have understood that Regulating Act was passed to control the activities of the East India Company. Fine. From the name we can understand that it's a regulating act. Regulating means what? Regulating means to control. Here it is written over here. To control the affairs. Fine. And what was the control? The Britishers first ended the dual government. What was this? This was a what should I say? This was a type of initiative taken by Robert Clive, okay, to consolidate the power, the authority. What he did, he started a dual government. Dual government means both the Nawab of Bengal and the East India Company ruled simultaneously. Okay, how simultaneously? Diwani right was given to East India Company. Diwani rights means collection of revenue. Diwani rights, we know the Diwani rights of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha, isn't it? Diwani right was given 1765 of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha to the Britishers. And Robert Clive at that time started a dual government. Dual government means the Diwani rights or the collection of revenue was hmm, was handling by East India Company, and the Nizamat rights mean Nizamat means administrative. Nizam means होता है administration. So Nizamat means administrative affairs were conducted by the Nawab of Bengal. Okay, but the East India Company was not directly collecting the revenue. Okay, they were not directly collecting the revenue. They appointed two deputy divans. Okay, deputy divans उन लोगों ने appoint किया था to collect the revenue on behalf of them, on behalf of East India Company. The two deputy divans, as far as I know, the Reza Khan, one was Reza Khan who was collecting the revenue from Bengal, and the other was Raja Shitab Roy, okay, who was collecting the Raja Shitab Roy was collecting the revenue or taxes from Bihar, and the third person was Roy Durlab. Yes, Roy Durlab was the third Nayab Diwan. Okay, he was collecting the revenue from Odisha. Fine, this was the dual government. So these dual government, which was initiated by Robert Clive in 1765, was abolished in through this act. Was abolished through this this regulating act. Okay, through this regulating act, the dual government was abolished. Fine, understood. Next point है, the governor of Bengal became the governor general of Bengal or governor general of Fort William. Okay, पहले designation था governor of Bengal. Now it has been renamed as governor general of Bengal or governor general of Fort William. And who was the first? We all know that Warren Hastings was the first governor general of Bengal. Fine. Next point is a member of executive 4-member executive council was created to assist the governor general. This governor general of Bengal, okay, the governor general of Bengal को assist करने के लिए an executive council was made with 4 members. Fine. Next is the Bombay and the Madras presidency. The Bombay and the Madras presidency were placed under Bengal presidency. For what? Why they were placed under the Bengal presidency? Because at that time Bengal was at the center of the whole scenario. Okay, and the Madras and Bombay presidencies were asked to take permission before declaring war or peace with anyone. अगर उन लोगों को किसी के साथ डिक्लेयर करना है वॉर और पीस, देन दे शुड कंसल्ट इट बिफोर टू द बंगाल प्रेसिडेंसी, मीन्स टू द गवर्नर जनरल ऑफ बंगाल. फाइन. The next point is through this act, the company, the administration of the company. Here we should stress on this line that administration of the company in India was centralized. How it was centralized? Earlier the company was trading with India but in an unorganized way. Right? वो लोग ट्रेड कर रहे थे but not in an organized way. It was all in an unorganized way. After this regulating act, their administration was centralized, okay, and more organized. Fine. Then the next point is through this act, means through this regulating act 1773, the Supreme Court was established in Calcutta, at Calcutta in 1774. The most important point, we have to remember this point, that the Supreme Court was established at Calcutta in 1774. Okay, and at that time there was 4 judges, 1 Chief Justice and 3 other judges. Fine. 3 other judges were there. Okay, and one more important information over here, that Lord MP, Lord MP, okay, wait, Lord MP was, here I am writing the name of the Chief Justice of Supreme Court, which was established in 1774 at Calcutta, and Lord MP was the first Chief Justice. Okay, fine. Next is the Court of Directors. The Court of Directors of company were bound to report its revenue, civil and military affairs in India to the government. Means what? Now the Court of Directors means the company were bound to report, means they have to report all the matters relating to the revenue, civil, military affairs to the British government, because now all their activities are regulating by the British government. They are not autonomous body. Fine. They have to be. They have to report all their activities to the British government. So this was the regulation. This was the controlling power of the British government through this act, through this regulating act. Okay. Then this act also banned the, what has it banned? It banned the private trade. What was private trade? The private trade was that at that time the British officials were engaged. Officials engaged themselves into the private trade. Means apart from trading as a representative of the company, East India Company, they were trading with the locals of India privately, and taking bribe and very taking bribe from them, or presents, accepting presents. Okay, so these activities, these private activities, were banned through this act. Fine. So we have so now it's almost clear that what was regulating act. One more important thing, that when this act was passed, this regulating act, at the Prime Minister of England was Lord North. Okay, Lord North was the Prime Minister of England when this act was passed. Okay, so from here we can make a little picture clear. We can make a picture clear of the means administration. What was the kind of administration at that time in India? It was first of all, there was Court of Directors. Okay, there was Court of Directors थे वहाँ पे. Then Court of Directors, then the Governor General of Bengal. After that, to assist him, Governor General Council was made with 4 members. Fine. Now this regulating act is complete. Now we'll jump to another point or another subtopic, that is Pitt's India Act. Pitt's India Act was passed in 1784. See, actually this Pitt's India Act was just to rectify all the wrongdoings of the regulating act. What was not mentioned or what was missed in the previous regulating act was included or was passed through this Pitt's India Act 1784. Fine. First of all, this Pitt's India Act, what it's done, it separated the commercial and the political role. Commercial and political role of what? Commercial and political role of the East India Company. At that time, the East India Company was very much dominating. Nah, but after regulating act, some of its activities were regulated or controlled by the British government. And through this Pitt's India Act, after the regulating act, the British government separated the commercial and the political activity. Fine. Let's see. The British government got the supreme control over companies' affair in India. Now the British government started to behave and act like a boss of the company of East India Company. After regulating act, the in the Pitt's India Act, now the British government are controlling the East India Company with more power. Okay. Now the British government, what they have done through this act, the British government introduced the dual government. What is this dual government? A few minutes ago, we have discussed about the dual government of Robert Clive, but that was different thing. Okay, this is the another one. This is a dual government started by the British Parliament through the Pitt's India Act. Okay, what is this dual government? The political affairs, a board of control was constituted, was made, constituting of 6 members. In that board of control, there were 6 members, and they were given the task of tackling all the political affairs. Okay, they were handling all the political affairs, and the Secretary of State was the president of the board. Which board? The board of control. Secretary of State was the president of the board of control. Okay, now the British government, and then the Secretary of State was the Secretary of State was the president of the board. Apart from this board of control, a court of director was constituted. Okay, a court of directors. Here it is. It was constituted of 24 members. This court of directors were given the task of handling or tackling all the commercial activities. Okay, now here the commercial and the political. Here it is political, here it is political, and here it is commercial. These both activities have been separated. Fine, through this Pitt's India Act. This is the most important point. Then the strength of the Governor General Council reduced to 3. In the Regulating Act, we have seen that the strength of the Governor General Council was 4. Now it has been reduced to 3. Here it is 3. Okay. And the next point is the Governor General of Bengal. Here it is that the Governor General of Bengal got the casting vote. What is casting vote? That if at any situation there will be a deadlock, then the Governor General can cast his vote to remove that deadlock. Okay, deadlock को overrule करने के लिए Governor General can cast his vote. That was called the casting vote. So Governor General means gradually what is happening. We can easily observe that the Governor General is getting more and more power, right? Governor General, who is Governor General? Governor General is the representative of the British government. Okay, so now the British government is gradually holding the power, gradually through the Regulating Act, then through the Pitt's India Act. The British government is entering the political scenario and tackling the political situation of the country. Why? Because at that time when they entered India, there was no centralization of power. All the regional authorities were getting more and more powerful, and there was no centralization of power. So what they have done, the Britishers just exploit that situation. Fine, they came just for trading. Their main objective was trading with India. But when they came and they observed the situation over here, that there is no centralization of power, their regional authorities are not united. They are getting more powers than the center, so they exploit the situation for their own benefit and involve themselves not only in the trading or commercial part, but also in the political scene of the country. Okay, and from the enactment of those these two acts, the British government is getting more and more power. Okay. The next is Madras and Bombay presidencies were placed under Governor General of Bengal in all matters. See, here it is written all matters. In the regulating act, what we have seen, that the Madras and Bombay presidencies were placed under Governor General only in matter of war and peace. Only these two matters. And apart from those two matters, war and peace, the Madras and Bombay presidencies were independent, were free to take their own decision. But after this Pitt's India Act, the Madras and Bombay presidencies were placed under Governor General of Bengal in all matters. Now they have to be, now they are, means, subdued, and they were given a less important place in the political scene. Now the Governor General of Bengal is becoming more and more powerful. Fine. The next point is, the first time the company's territory in India was called the British possession. Okay, first time, it was the first time that the company's territory was called British possession in India. What was company's territory? See, the first who came to India was the British traders. That is the British company, East India Company. They have means accumulated very very much area of the India. Okay, almost uh, almost in the south they have captured. So these territories were initially, they were called the company's territory. But after this Pitt's India Act, all the territories of the company which were hold which were was under the East India Company are now being called as the British possession in India. Okay, so from going through this Pitt's India Act and Regulating Act, we can see that what was the situation at the time of passing of this act and what was these acts. So I think that and I'm clear in make you understand some important points regarding these two important acts. Means this all these were the, see here it is written over here, all these were the reforms which were made by the British government before 1857. Okay, before 1857, because 1857 is a watershed line for the British supremacy. We'll discuss it later. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, then please do share and like this video. And thank you for watching this. Thank you.